Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. My name is Anas Abdulkadir Isa. I'm the book reviewer for today. Imagine a story of two childhood friends, Ibrahim and Ahmad. They went to the same school, had the same opportunities, and both of them dream of achieving big things in life. Years later, Ibrahim became a successful techpreneur, running a cybersecurity company, and he's very happy living his dream. While Ahmad is stuck with a job he doesn't enjoy, and he constantly blames circumstances for his lack of progress. One day, they met for coffee, and Ahmad asked Ibrahim, "How did you make it? We started in the same place. You have achieved so much while I feel stuck." And Ahmad and Ibrahim said, "The difference wasn't in our opportunities, it's from how we thought. I believe I could succeed even when things seemed impossible. And I started thinking big. That is when everything changed." So this story mirrored the core message of this book. And today I'll be presenting how this book can transform your life. This book is written by David Swartz, PhD. The book has 13 chapters and 144 pages, and the book is first published in 1959. Number one key lesson of this book is believing in yourself. Yes, of course, believing in yourself. For you to achieve anything in life, you have to believe in yourself. We can, we have different examples around us. Let's take a look at a very common example: the governor of Katsina State. In 2022, when he said he want to contest for the gubernatorial election, a lot of people doesn't believe in him. People think, why will he quit his job, his current position at that time, and contest for gubernatorial election while he has high tendency of not succeeding? But this person believed that he can do it and it's possible. And now he's the governor of Katsina State. So you see, this is one of the powers of belief. He believed he can do it and he do it, and now he's the governor of Katsina State. In conclusion, I recommend this book to every person who want to improve his professional or personal life. This book will help you. At last, I will tell you that just believe in yourself. Believe you can do it, and you can surely do it. Believe. Sometimes all it takes is just for you to believe in yourself. Uh, just believe to start. When you start, even if no one recommend you that you have improved, you can compliment yourself. You can do self-evaluation that personally you know that you have improved, even if it is by 1%. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Convener, for giving me the opportunity to make my own input. And first of all, I would like to appreciate our reviewer today, even though the book review is very brief, but actually he has done well by starting the review with storytelling for him to be able to engage with the audience. And I think this book was actually recommended by a globally celebrated automotive designer, Jilani Aliu, during our last fourth personal development workshop when he was asked about the book that was uh, was the reason for his success, and said the first book that changed the way he approaches things was this book, that the magic of thinking big. So I read the book actually, even though I read it halfway. But one of the good lessons from the book is that it's not about your background, it's not about your vast knowledge and experience that determine your success, but the power of thinking big. We may attend the same primary school, the same secondary school, the same university. I can cite an example. I have a friend that I will not mention name, that many of us are wondering his success, as in he has gone far to achieve so many things while in secondary school we did not know him with that talent. But by the power of believing himself, he has made it in life and he has become a global public speaker, giving out speeches around the globe. So you have to believe in yourself. It's not about the background, but the major thing is believing in yourself. Yes, I can do it. Once you have that mindset, when you have that idea, inshallah, you will succeed. And second aspect, one other thing that I learned from the book is that Believing yourself is also linked to not blaming others. But it has become a culture in Nigeria that if we have been faced with temporary setbacks, we blame others, we blame friends, we blame family members, and we, even in university, we blame our lecturers that they are part of our problems and which they are not. So we should see uh, a temporary setback as a foundation for our success, as a foundation for personal growth and development. And what you do today, your actions, your present actions of today determine what you will succeed in the future. If you utilize your time very well today, the result the result of what you get in the future is as a result of your present action. So you have to utilize your time very well so that you become or we become very successful in life. Because whether we like it or not, we are the leaders of tomorrow, whether in Katsina or in Nigeria. So we have to prepare ourselves for the task ahead so that when it comes, we don't mess up. And then another aspect, which is going to be the last, not to consume much of our time, is the power of replacing negative thoughts with a positive mind uh, uh, thinking. Because to be honest, this is what is affecting me. Most at times I say, "Ah, I cannot do this. I cannot do it." Maybe looking at the caliber of people by their status, by their experience, by their qualification. And this is a dangerous disease. It's only when you believe in yourself that you can achieve greatness and success in your life. And I think part of the story he has shared in the book of two friends who attended the same institution, the same school, and the same everything. And one of them happened to be the chief executive officer of the company and of a particular company, and the other one is still, an ordinary staff in that company. But one of the key success to the person that have achieved, that have gone far in becoming the CEO of that company is the power and magic of thinking big. It's only when you think big that you progress in life. Thank you.
Yeah. Then at 2010, Muhammad Patani wrote his speech. And then years are moving. In 2015, after 5 years, Muhammad Patani has won a world championship in public speaking. So you see, he dreamed big. And in his journey of public speaking, he has a dream that he wished that one day he could speak to 1,000 people. And then right when he's going to contest for the public speaking championship at international level, he asked the contest here like how many audience were here, and then he saw that we have 4,000 audience. You see, he dreamed big, and as he's moving on, he's making his dreams, he's making them alive. I think this is a practical example of setting a big goal and have a big thinking. Well, someone might have said, how can I write something that I don't even know where to achieve it? So you have to write your goals and even prepare for what to do with that goal. And then after achieving the goals, you have to ask yourself, what next? I think what next? We don't chase goals just to earn them as a title, but what next after you have succeeded with that goals? I think this the same on the same person, Mahmoud Katani. After he won his one championship of public speaking, people are coming after him to sign an autograph and taking a picture. And then at that time, he said that he lose his purpose. He lose his purpose. He make no meaning and no measure of that success until one lady approached him and asked him and said to him that my life will change after I heard your speech. And then at that very moment, he think that yes, I made it, because it's not about achieving your goals. It's about what have you impact to others. When you become someone, does that mean something that you can impact someone to become more than you or close to you? So we don't chase goals, we don't chase for titles just to earn them. We have to ask ourselves, what next after I have get this thing? This I think this is what majorly affects our people. Someone will chase to earn a big position or to have a big title or something very big, but the moment when he get it, then he loses purpose. You don't know what will I do with this thing, and then from that moment, then something bad might happen. So I think this is a practical example of setting a big goal. Just when you feel like you can do something, just set it, and then like this one my brother said there, it has to be a realistic goal. And I think the word impossible has never and will never exist. Anything is possible. You just have to be determined, be optimistic on what you want to achieve. And inshallah, by being consistent and having a very big patience, you will achieve whatever you have dreamed to achieve. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. As earlier introduced, I am Abubakar Lawal Idris. I'm a 300 level medical student at Umaru Musa Yar'Adua University. I think while the book titled The Magic of Thinking Big, I would like to maybe title my comment as Bridging the Gap Between Thinking Big and Action Taking or Taking Action. I believe these are two complementary parts. While you think big, you would have to think, or let me say, you have to act mercilessly in fact. Most of us, or let me say, all of us here have been thinking big actually. So I think there is a wide gap, there is a wide margin between thinking big and action taking. These are two complementary processes. While you think big, you would have to take action for that magic to happen. You cannot think big and maybe fold your arms and think that okay, things are going to change. I think as the presenter earlier mentioned regarding the action taking, I think without you taking action, nothing will change. In fact, given by example, I think almost all of us here have been thinking big. Or let me say we have such kind of friends that always think big. In fact, when you sit down with them, you will learn that their dreams are totally far from yours. But comparing, or let me say, in comparison with even the actions you are taking toward that goal, you will find out that you are a way better than them in regards to achieving those goals. So I think the most important part after thinking big, you would have to take action. Without taking action, nothing will change. So your thinking big will not in any way produce any positive result without you taking action. So these are just two complementary processes. You think big, then you take action. You think big, then you take action. For example, I think all of us here, if you are not the person, you might have one or two friends. That let me give an example. You see that maybe most of times you see that their stories, their status on WhatsApp, on Facebook, you will see that it is just full of luxury cars, luxury houses, and what have you. You see that they have that dream of luxury life. But when you look at them, when you look at the way they are running their lives, you know that they are definitely not ready toward that goal. And of course, they are dreaming big. In fact, they are even dreaming better than you. You maybe that are away, or let me say at least a step toward that goal. So I think the most important part, or let me say, these are two complementary processes, but one will not go without the other. Without you taking action, nothing will change. So your thinking big will not in any way produce results. So I think that's one of the things I wanted to comment on, and I believe by now we'll keep on taking action mercilessly. Thank you very much.
So my name is Abubakar Mustafa Gafi. So as at almost some have commented on what I'm going to say, but let me put it in this way. We all know that, as one author put it, when you say body, you think this is the only body you have, the physical body. As the author put it, you have about 5 different bodies. You have the physical body, the emotional body, the intellectual body, and the biochemical body, then the social body also. So if you look at by thinking big, you are taking part of your emotional body. Sometimes you feel anger, sometimes you feel fear, sometimes you feel anxious, and what have you. So sometimes because of that anger, you think that you can achieve it. Then you drop at the starting point. Even somebody might have not started, you can even drop out. So what I'm trying to say is, when you think big, yes, you have to think big before you achieve what you can achieve, but you have to work toward that, what you want to achieve, by using your physical body. by applying all the systems you have in your body. Do you understand? So there is one part of the body that we actually neglect, that is the spiritual body. So the spiritual body, you have the desire, you have the tools, but you have to have that spiritual helpers. So maybe you have to pray constantly. That fear in your mind should go away. Do you understand? When you pray, maybe you can even take a night prayer for you to achieve that dream you are trying to achieve. Do you understand? So maybe you can also go for a voluntary prayer, charities, and any kind of spiritual engagement that you can have Allah's blessing in what you are going to. Because maybe you can achieve it and it's going to be a disaster to you. Do you understand? So you have to seek for Allah's guidance, for Allah's help, Allah to choose best for you. Do you understand? Then I will tell you, you think big, you take actions, you seek for divine intervention. So in this going, you can go far. There's no limit to what you can achieve. So I hope with this little input, you can.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. My name is Yusuf Usman. Thank you, Mala Anas, for the wonderful presentation. I would like to emphasize firstly on what he highlighted regarding driving inspiration from the politicians. I know practically in Nigeria, one of the most inspirable set of people in Nigeria are the politicians. They are those that highly implement dreaming big. You will see a local politician dreaming to become the reps of his constituency. And with time, inshallah, he will actualize that. You will see him with a dirty trouser, but then give him 10 years. He will follow the due process to climb up to that seat. And then he will actualize his purpose, his values, even though they are negative. So I think mostly they are negative, most of them. You say that politicians mostly compromise their values when they achieve their dream. Mostly it has to do with the process that they follow to achieve that seat. It is hardly for you to acquire a big seat in Nigeria of power without compromising your values. It is highly hardly, Gaskia. So we as the people with the passion of actualizing change to our community, we need to actually, there's good in everything. There's good in the politicians. We can drive that inspiration from them. See how they become patient. You see a politician, there's a current sitting governor in Nigeria. He was accused, or let me say he was bantered before by holding shoes for his boss. But today he's a current sitting governor. And he's proud of holding shoes for his boss. So that shows us how patient they are, how duly they are in following the process. And then also when we are talking about thinking big, when we get back to our religion, Islam, most of us here are Muslims. There's a hadith that motivated us to ask Allah. It says, إِذَا سَأَلْتُمُ اللَّهَ فَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ الْفِرْدَوْسِ. When you want to ask Allah for Jannah, ask him Firdaus, because it is the highest rank in Jannah. But then you will see people saying, even if it is the gate of Jannah, Alhamdulillah, as long as I'm not in hellfire, everything is satisfied. But then we are motivated. There's also a hadith that said, Al-mu'min al-qawiyyu khayrun wa habba ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if. Or kama qala. The believer that is highly strong is more beloved in the eyes of Allah than the believer that is weak. Even though in both of them there's there's bitterness in both of them, but then the stronger one of them is more beloved in the eyes of Allah. So I think we need to become confident enough. And then I think lastly, we are mostly inconfident, let me say, the people with the good intention of changing our society. Let's take example from the entertainment industry. You see them with no iota of shame achieving their dreams, thinking big. You see the photographer of an entertainment company following the steps up to actualizing his own dream by having sponsors and the rest of things. So we need to become more confident. The people with the good intentions are becoming shy, and those with the negative thoughts are becoming more confident, and they are showcasing their talents up and down. All of the social media, most of the things trending are the things of the negative purpose. But then you will see those, even though our society are more inclined to promoting those negative things, but then the more confident we become, the more accommodate, the more let me say, the more dominating the positive thought becomes. Thank you very much.
For the past 3 weeks, I met Mr. Jilana Ali, the best car designer in the world. He promised me to sponsor my education anywhere in the world, any course I like.
Wow.
Some of you know about it. And when I calculated about his spendings when I'm going to study in UK, he's going to spend 80 million. That is for my tuition fee. Not talking about the accommodation and so on. The issue of thinking big came in. I think bigger and bigger, bigger. I made my decision. I say I'm not going to any country. I have to stay in Nigeria and continue my study. Do you know why? I'm a very good entrepreneur. I'm making snacks, something like alkaki, dublan, chinchin, nakia. I'm a musician. I'm a woman designer. All these things I'm doing well. I'm doing them myself.
Wow.
If I go to America, who can do that for me? I didn't build myself. I didn't build my people. I decided. No. Oh, we are coming to that. Allow me to drop down. The second issue is that I am really political. I know how to connect with people easily. Maybe some big people, and that is maybe what makes me meet Jilani just in the past few decades. If I move to America, how can I keep connecting with the biggest people in my country? I love them. I love my people. No. Allow me to finish. Mr. Jilani himself gave me this advice. He told me when we met in Hillside, the following day after our first meeting, he told me that, comrade, it takes time for me to meet a guy like you. I see some things that, according to my advice, I want you to study online. I'll buy you laptops and all you want.
Wow.
You will study at your room, that is your class. You will meet with your people and so on. The second thing is I will give you some millions to build a business.
Wow.
You become the CEO of yourself and maybe supporting others in your community. Maybe something like around 10 million to 20. He says it. The third issue is that I will keep connecting with people. I don't want to leave my country. Crude oil is one of the best assets in Nigeria. So they tight it. They don't want us to maybe benefit from it. So what about the soil we have? I have a very good fertile soil. I decided to become a good farmer. If I am in UK, how can I farm? And when I go to America,
Thank you,
I will only study.
I think we should give the
Only
other
two lines.
people the
Sorry, only two lines. Only two lines. You will no.
Where everything you do can actually complete.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
But you're talking about Nigeria. When you are
Number 8.
when you are abroad, way
Okay.
you are going to establish yourself, it will be much more easier than Nigeria. Do you know that?
I don't like easiness. I don't like easiness.
One mic.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
I reverse.
Please, one house.
Okay, you want to talk?
So my name is Muhammad Sanus Faziri. As I introduce myself, I want to connect the lessons of this book with a lecture I listened of one of the scholars in Saudi Arabia. His name is Dr. Muhammad Al Arifi. His lecture he named it Asbabun Najah bil Haya, like ways to succeed in life. So one of it is about thinking big, and he gave a story of a village person. One day, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is coming back from a journey. Along the way, he met with this village man, and he give them a place to have rest, a milk, and everything. And Prophet is very happy for that kind gesture, and asked him, when you come to Medina, please come to me. Then one day he visited Medina and he went to the Prophet. And the Prophet asked him, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and tell him, Salni, ask me about whatever you want. His answer is an-naqatu, like a camel. Give me a camel. And he asked somebody to provide that for him. Again, he asked him, Salni, and he says, Kalbun yahrisu ghanami. I need a what do you call it? Dog, just to take care of my sheep. And he said, please give him. Somebody should provide that thing for him. And he say, Ajazta an takuna mithla ajuz Bani Israel. You can't be like that old woman of son of Israel's. And the Sahabas became very curious. What happened to this? Who is this woman? And Prophet said that there is one time when Prophet Musa alayhi salam and his people are leaving Egypt. And there is one, like, how do they call it? Wasiyah. I don't know, say in English, like bequest or something like that. Prophet Yusuf said that, yes, that when a time will be, the Banu Israel will be chased away from Egypt. So when they are moving out from Egypt, they should go with his remains. So they are asking, who knows where his grave is? And there is one woman. Then that very old woman, they went to her and asked her, this is what you want. And she said, I will not tell you the answer. I know the place. But you must tell me that I will have the same place with the Prophet in Jannah. This is my condition. I want to be with you in Jannah. I said, this is very big. And he said that, yes, it's big, but if I have it, I will tell you where the grave is. And he said, you have that one. And they went and find him and they bring him out and go with him. Then he said, this is about thinking big. This blessed man, his only thinking is a camel and a dog. He meet the prophet, but only his thinking. And he asked him, ask me. And he said that only a camel and a dog. So he said that one of the things that make you to succeed in life is thinking big, dreaming bigger, not dreaming about small things. Dream big. Don't be like this blessed person that all his life, his highest achievement is to have a camel and a dog. Thank you.
My co-convener wants to ask a question. So,
Assalamu alaikum. Actually, like I said, I haven't read the book. So I'm curious about one thing. How does the book prepare me for failure? As in, I know I'm going to be failing. So what measures were put in place according to the book that I can learn from?
So where are the leaders? Who wants to answer? Okay. You want to answer how we want to talk? Okay. Allah can
Yes, so Assalamu alaikum. I think in the book there's this place that he discussed something about you can't do anything about fear. Fear is always going to be there. So he made this instance, I think, or is it in one review that I read? I don't know, but it goes like this. When you're afraid, it's your head. You must be afraid. So fear is always there.
It's failure. I was talking about
fear of failure. Fear. Is there any fear other than fear of failure? Not fear of cockroach, fear of anything. You're talking about failure.
No, she was talking about
you're going to fail. It's a fear. It's a fear. He said, don't allow anybody to tell you that like you're not allowed to be afraid of failure because you must be afraid. It's there naturally. The only thing is you need to learn to like overcome it. You cannot even overcome it. You can just start to grow from it and fail. There's this part that he said, I think, excusate, right?
Yes,
it's a what?
Excusate.
Is the disease of what? Excuses is a what?
Yeah?
Is a disease of what?
Excuses.
Is a disease of failure, right?
Of excuses.
Yes. No, not. Thank you. No, to disease. What did you put there? No, as in the whole line. Excusate is the what? Disease for what? Is it for failure, right? For failure. For failure. So thank you. If you want to overcome fear of failure, you have to overcome excusate. You understand?
I'm not afraid of failing. I know I will fail.
Uh-huh.
So what is in place for me when I fail? That's the question.
Pick yourself up. Pick yourself up and just grow. Yesterday we were in Kadit. Two of my friends or three of my friends were like, we're discussing how to just rise. That's it. But once you fail and lie down, you have allowed that failure to what? To just take you down. But you have to just overcome it. You have to just keep going. That's it.
So I think Faisal want to add to the question. So let's move
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. One
So-
house, please.
I think the book, I don't think there is any particular section that deals with failure directly. I don't think there is any part of the book. So usually when we read books, that is why I encourage people to find areas where you can criticize so that we can discuss and find solutions for that areas. It's quite unfortunate that we don't read critically. We just read everything, we take it and we just present. Just like the previous book review by Yusuf, he tried to do that. In fact, he did that in the book. So it's very essential for you not just to read and just take everything as face value. No, the idea is for you to be critical. Read the book, pick the lessons, and look at some of the areas that they may not apply to you. This book was written in 1959, right? So how many years now? Even before Nigeria was independent. So there are so many things that happened around that period. So it's not essential for you to just pick everything. But what I can tell you from failure is whenever you do something, you are bound to fail, right? It's part of the learning process. So the best thing for you is try to learn from what you fail. If you did something, you fail at it, then go back to what you did and try to analyze the process. Where did you fail? What happened there? How can I learn from the process? Then you try again. I think there is this inventor, the person who invented the bulb light, Edison. He said the way he approaches failure is he did something 1,000 times, but he is learning from that 1,000 times. He's finding 1,000 times to approach the same problem. So that's a mindset. You don't see failure as failure. We see failure as an opportunity to learn. And I think even the book Obstacle in the Way, he said obstacle in the way is part of the way. It's part of the way, right? So when you are approaching anything in life, you have to go with the mindset that you are going to fail. But when you fail, what do you do then? That is what counts the best. Look at what you did, retrace your steps, go back and try to find where you went wrong. Then you try to look for other opportunities on how you can build on what you did before. What you did before, it doesn't go for nothing. It counts because you have the experience. So let me just share another story so that it can maybe relate to you. In last year, I called my Oga here, Abbas, he's here. He's into Twitter monetization, right? He's earning a lot of money. So if you're looking for a loan, you can go to him. He's earning in dollars. So I told him that I want to enroll too. So he put me through the steps, everything. So I enrolled, but it's very difficult to go through. But along the way, you will meet so many people. So I met this lady. She's from the southeast. So she has a very big account, and she earned, I think, close to ₦1 million. No, in I think 6 months, right? In 6 months, I think she earned, I think, about 800 plus naira. So suddenly something happened, and her account was suspended. She has, I think, about over 5,000 followers. So she contacted me with another account, and she told me that her account was suspended. So I now asked her what happened, and she told me that when she realized the account was suspended, she even cried. She cried for more than a week because this is something that is earning her money. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have anything. She graduated, I think, last year and completed NYSC this year. So this is something that is bringing her money to sustain herself, and it's been suspended.
So I now told her, what are you going to do now? She said she's going to start again. She built another account and she started again. So that's the biggest failure you can face, right? Something that you are earning from and it just stopped one day. But what do you do? What do you do? She started again. And she organized a space and many people were discussing and she said she's going to start from zero because she doesn't have any followers. She doesn't have anything. She created a new account. So someone chipped in, he told her, no, you're not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. Because all the learnings that you did before, they are still there in your head. So it's very easy for you to start again when you are starting from failure because you are starting from experience. So you just look back to your experience, and now as at I think last week, she has already monetized. She has earned at least over 5 million impressions in just I think less than a month. Why? Because she's starting from experience. So when you fail, the best thing is for you to, maybe you can take some time to relax and cry if you must. But go back to the experience and look at where you go wrong and you start from there. So this is just what I want to add to the discussion. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, I think number 10.
Okay, so let me just make my contribution from the book. So I think this book that was published in 1959. So what do you learn from that? This is something that was published in 1959. And now we're in 2025 and we're still reading the book and we're still finding value from that particular book. So what is the lesson here? It doesn't expire, right? So that's a lesson. What's other lessons from that? Vision, that's another one. Dreaming, yes. You have to dream big, but you have to put it down in writing, right? We're all Muslims here. What was the first creation? A pen, right? And a book, right? So we should learn from most of these concepts, they are from our religion. Most of these concepts that we see from the Western world, they originated from our religion. But what do? We don't learn from them. And someone is taking that particular lessons and he's using it and he's packaging it and bringing it back to us. And we still don't see it as us. We'll say that but these are our lessons. We should try to write our stories, our lessons, so that people that are coming from behind, they can learn from our lessons. They will have something to build. If you read this book, it's not written in Nigeria. And like I said, it was published in 1959. So some of the lessons there, they may not relate to you. You not understand some of it's written in English language. And not many of us here still understand English language. So what if you come and you say that you are going to translate this book into Hausa, and you can use Hausa stories? To make sense, right? It will make more impact. So we have this knowledge, but we don't know how to use it. We always see ourselves as maybe we don't have the capacity. I think in that book he dealt with that particular section where you see others as having more intelligence, more powerful, more money, right? And you kick yourself down. He said if you say something, you want to do this, but you start making excuses. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too sick, right? He even gave out the example of someone who believes he's sick. He's spending all his time and money and resources to see doctors, from one doctor to another. So it's time for you to start focusing on the positive. We always sit down and we complain. We said our leaders, they don't do this, they don't do that. What are you doing? What have you done? That is the question.
Bill Clinton, when he came the president of US, in his inauguration speech, he said, don't ask what your country do for you, but what you can do for your own country. So this is the mindset. This is the president of the United States of America. But look at the mindset he's pushing to his people. But now if you tell someone to do something, he will tell you that this and that. Before he give you one answer, he will give you 1,000 excuses on how it's not going to work. This is our mindset. We focus too much on excuses, on failures. Yes, it's right for you to look at the failures, but don't focus your energy on failures. In the book, he said, those who believe that they can move a mountain, they can move a mountain, right? It has to be from your mindset. You have to believe first. If you don't believe, then you cannot do it. Like I'd say, so, bari dai in gwada. Bari dai in gwada. Ai tun nan ka kashe kanka ai. Bari dai in gwada. Let me just give it a try. It doesn't work. You have to go in 100%. Even 110 if it's possible. So this is just what I want to add. If you read a book, pick a lesson. If it is just, I always used to say, is just one lesson. It's very easy, so that it can be diluted and be applicable. The books that we have read from 2018 to date, if we are applying these lessons, what do you think will happen to the readers of Workers in the State? I raised my case.
Thank you. Umar.
My name is Umar Salihu. So my perspective from this book is that it is not only about thinking big, but also in the book he mentioned about problem solving. Mostly when you think big, so try to understand what you are thinking and then apply that problem solving method to it. Let me set an example with the richest man on earth, that is Elon Musk. When he was young, he has that thinking of he want to travel to space. Many people by that time they start this is crazy idea, this guy like he's 2 feet or something like that, but he have belief in that and he finally achieved. And also he has problem on online transactions. He created PayPal. PayPal is the result of the problem solving method. He has problem with online transactions, so he tried to provide the solution to that problem and it's finally get done. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Permit me if I shake along the way, because I'm going to speak about something from experience. Initially, my plan wasn't to like share a story here or to communicate actually, but the question that this sister here asked gave me that courage or instilled that in me, so I want to share this story. Okay, it has to do about you dreaming big and then you taking steps towards achieving that dream of yours. Okay, just like 2 years ago, I had a colleague where we work in the hospital, in a particular hospital. All of us dreamt of working with good international non-governmental organizations. So for that reason, we applied for a lot of works. Okay, so one day, one organization shortlisted our names and we were invited for exam. You don't know what that means. In most of the cases, you can see 100 people or 1,000 people applying for a job and they can only call 10 to sit for the exam. We were invited for that written test out of over 500 people that applied for that position. We went together with my friend. We sat for that exam. Only 20 of us were invited, but we made it. So we were called for an interview. So both me and my friend were opportune to be called for that interview. So for me, when we went for the interview, the first question that was asked for my colleague, not me, just like an organization with acronym, just like the way we have WHO, UNICEF, and the rest. So when he went for that interview, the first question they asked him was, what's the full meaning of this organization that you want to work with us? But then he didn't know what that organization meant. So you see, what do you understand? Now, his failure can be accredited to inadequate preparation, because you can imagine you going for an interview in a place that you want to get employment without you knowing the name of that organization. Okay, that story, part part of it aside. Okay, this year, this is just January. This is the end of January. I was like invited for a lot of recruitment processes this year. Okay, notably the two. I was invited for the first one. It was a position. I will not mention the name of that position, but is a big position. I applied for that job. Even when I applied, a lot of people were telling me, don't apply for this, because even if you apply, you'll not be selected. Considering my experience and my educational background, I went ahead and applied. But guess what? I was called for that interview. Okay, out of 200 people that applied for that job, I was called for a written test. I went for the written test. Only 14 of us were called for the written test. I sat for that exam. I passed. Only 3 of us were called for interview. But guess what? When I went for that interview, I failed. That didn't stop me again. I applied for another position. Just this January, I went for same exam. Like 15 of us were invited out of more than 600 people that applied. I went for that exam. Sat for the exam. I passed. I went for that interview and I failed again. So even after this series of failure, just in a month's time, that day that I realized that I failed that second interview, that same day I applied for another opportunity. But you know what? I just bought a book for myself, just like a book similar to this. What I did was, all the questions that were asked during all this written test and the interview, I jot down all the questions here in a book. What that means is that I'll keep looking back into these questions, keep preparing myself against upcoming opportunities. But the last part of it, what will inspire you, is that this failure that I counted all these years or all these months, like really supported people to get better opportunities. I'm not bragging. I'm not hyping myself. Last year alone, I actively supported more than 10 people to get jobs.
Wow.
Last year, I supported more than 10 people. Like when I said active, I mean active. You send link for someone will apply, you coach him the way you approach exams, give him questions, mentor him critically. I did that. This year alone, this is just January, but I know I actively supported 3 people to get job just beginning of this year. But you see, this is my own failure, but it's even going beyond myself. It's even supporting the lessons I learned along the way and supporting other people within my cycle. Thank you for that.
Well, I think they are part of this book that no one is talking about. The part that talk about attitude, the part that talk about quality, and the other part that talk about support. Quality in terms of, there's a quote in the book that say you are what you eat. Like the people you mingle with, like how do you say it? Tell me who you are. Tell me your friend and I will tell you who you are. So if you want to be kind of a creative, you have to make sure that the people you mingle with are creative minds, those that have creative mindset like you. Maybe you are willing to be an SDG advocate, like maybe you can tag along with someone like Abdusalam Bishir. You want to be a content creator, tag with Lamusa, right? You cannot just be willing to be something and you'll be tagging along with people outside the box. So that's what the book was saying about quality in terms of people you mingle with. Then in terms of support, they are trying to tell us about, the world now is working kind of interdependently. Before we had this kind of mindset of competition, but now we are kind of advanced. We work interdependently, like kind of collaboration. You collaborate with people, no matter how you are. There is a quote in the book that said, one person cannot be an island. So no matter how big your dreams are, no matter how much mindset you have, you alone cannot do it. Dangote is the richest man in the Nigeria we have, but Dangote only cannot function. You have workers, staffs, and a lot of people that work with him. Without those people, he cannot be who he is today. Then the part that talk about attitude. Attitude also matters wherever we are. Like, for instance, now we are in this room. Maybe I'm a kind of a talkative person. Maybe someone is kind of playful. But here we all collaborate and put in an attitude, which make us to fulfill whatever we are here. Like maybe kind of giving a silent room, focus and concentrate. Thank you.
Oh, I think we have one last person who wants to. Yeah, you are.
Okay, I'm going to make this short. There's one thing about thinking big. If it's big enough, people will hardly agree with you. Let's go back to the times lokacin da ake is Hausa permitted? Let's go back to let's go back to the time da ake sending letters. At that moment, who would have thought there would be a cell phone that you would use to call someone? When we had cell phones to call, who would have thought of video calls? When we had horses and camels, who would have thought of cars? Who would have thought of aeroplanes? Tapiyoyi that would take years now take minutes. And I believe that's because of the audacity to not just think big, but to act upon it, even if people don't think it's possible. He talked of Elon Musk going to space. Who would have ever thought a human being would go to space? So most of the time, what discourages us is thinking it will not work. Wani da kanshi, he will sabotage himself. You will think of an idea, ama you just sit down alone, unprovoked. Kai abin nan ba zai yiwu ba. And you will leave it in your book. One day, someone will come and do it, and you will regret. Da ni nayi fa, it would have worked. That's problem one. Another people, they will go and tell someone. Someone will tell them it will not work, and they will drop it there. Earlier this year, I wanted to start a startup, and I talked to someone about it. I've been having it in my jotter for a while. Kawai dai I did not talk about it. So the first day I talked about it, someone told me, Aisha, kin san your first 10 businesses fail. What was what he told me? I said, okay, first 10 businesses fail. Yace, yes. Nace, okay, this is number 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's cuckoo finish the 10, and let's go to the one that will work.
Yes.
So even if you think big, have the audacity to actualize it. What are you scared of? What is the worst that will happen? Failure. Okay, this one does not work. Why? Because some of the times when some things fail is not because they are not good enough. Maybe it's just not the right time. Keep it. Pick another one. Most of the people that we know that are very successful, they have failed businesses, and you learn from it. So there's nothing to be scared of. You fail, please pick yourself up and keep going. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for. I think we are behind time actually. Yeah, so there is going to be an announcement. It's an invitation for the entire community of the Readers Hub. So it's a invitation from Madrasatu Sabilu Saada Hamada Kapet Jari Katsina. So the student of the school translated some book, right? Some books, right? Yes. Yeah. So we read books on Ajami, in Hausa, but in Arabic. Yeah, you get it. So they are inviting everyone for the launch, which is going to happen on 9th February, Sunday 9th February, 9 a.m. at auditorium of Usman Danfodio College, Layout Katsina. So everyone is invited on 9th February, 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. So there is another
announcement. Very happy one. One of our esteemed members here, Hannatu Kabir, sister to Muhammad Kabir Sani, is getting married on Sunday. And the wedding party will take place at Goriboro Jumat Mosque, 1 p.m. after Zuhur. So please, who will give the? I will not give the closing prayer. So someone please will put them our prayers that the marriage will have. It's Sunday, yes, Sunday.
This Sunday.
Yes, Sunday, 2nd February. Yes.
Time, what time?
Yes, Sunday.
What time?
1 o'clock after Zuhur prayer.
That's
Yes,
where?
yes. Yes, yes. What to look at house of Yeah. So please, we invite all of us here to attend the wedding party out there. So who will give the closing prayer?
صلوا على النبي الكريم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.